You typed a clumsy, half-finished question into a chatbot this morning, and it answered politely, clearly, like it actually wanted to help. That feels normal now. But here's the strange part: nobody programmed those manners. The thing underneath was trained on the raw internet, and the raw internet has no manners at all. So how did a machine that swallowed the whole messy web turn into a calm, helpful assistant? In the next few minutes, you'll see the exact 3 steps that taught it to behave, and the clever trick where real humans handed it its personality. This is Glass Box, where we make the hardest ideas in AI feel obvious. Today's question: how did ChatGPT learn to behave? Last time we taught a model one single skill: predict the next word. Feed it "the sky is," and it learns to say blue. Do that across nearly all the text humans have ever written, and you get something that can finish any sentence shockingly well. But finish the sentence is not the same as be a good assistant. A pure next word machine will happily ramble, dodge your question, copy the rudest comment it ever read, or make something up with total confidence. It's brilliant and feral. Manners have to be taught on top. So here's the plan in 5 steps. 1. The raw model that just predicts. 2. Fine-tuning where it learns the assistant job. 3. Humans ranking answers. 4. Bottling that human taste into a reward. And 5. Why it stays polite and where it can still slip. Part 1. The raw model, brilliant and a little feral. Step 1 is called pretraining. The model reads an enormous pile of text, books, articles, forums, code, and plays one game over and over. Cover the next word, guess it, check, adjust. Billions of times. It's not memorizing, it's soaking up the patterns of language. And that's the problem. Ask this raw model a question, and it doesn't answer you, it predicts what text usually comes next. Sometimes that's a great reply. Sometimes it's another question, a list of unrelated links, or whatever toxic rant happened to follow that phrase online. It mirrors the internet, warts and all. So what is pretraining? It's the long phase where a model learns raw language by guessing the next word across mountains of text. No instructions, no goals, just patterns. Real example: like a kid who grows up overhearing every conversation in the world. They pick up grammar, slang, facts, and arguments. But nobody's taught them yet what's polite to actually say out loud. Part 2, fine-tuning, teaching it one job. So we narrow it down. Humans write thousands of examples of exactly what a good answer looks like, a real question, paired with a clear, helpful, polite response, and we show them to the model. Same guessing game as before, but now on a tiny, hand-picked menu of good behavior. After fine-tuning, the model has the format down. It greets you, it answers the thing you asked, it stops when it's done. It finally acts like an assistant instead of an autocomplete, but acts like isn't is good at. Its answers are still hit or miss, and we haven't told it which kind of answer people actually prefer. And here's the wall we hit. There aren't enough handwritten perfect answers in the world to cover every question you might ask. Writing them all out, one by one, simply doesn't scale. We need a way to teach taste, not by writing the answer, but by judging it. So what is fine-tuning? It's a short, focused training pass that takes a model which knows everything and nothing and shapes it toward one specific job, here, being an assistant. Real example: like a brilliant new hire who already knows the whole industry, then spends their first week shadowing the best person on the team, learning how we actually answer customers here. Part 3, let humans pick the better answer. Here's the clever move. Take one question and have the model write 2 different answers. Then show both to a real person and ask one simple thing: which of these is better? Not why, not a score out of 10, just point at the better one. Do this thousands of times, across thousands of questions, with lots of people. Slowly, a pattern emerges, a fingerprint of what humans actually want. Answers that are direct, honest, and respectful keep winning. Answers that are vague, rude, or made up keep losing. That choice has a name, a human preference. It's just a person comparing 2 answers and picking the one they'd rather receive: clearer, kinder, more honest, more useful. Real example: like a taste test with 2 unlabeled cups. You don't need to explain the chemistry, You just sip both and point to the one you like better. Part 4. Bottle that taste into a reward. That second model is called a reward model. Feed it any answer, and it outputs a single number, a score, for how good a human would find it. Real example, like a food critic who's tasted thousands of the head chef's verdicts and can now walk into any kitchen and instantly score a dish the way the chef would. It bottles human taste into a number. Now the catch, you can't have a human sit and judge every single answer forever. The model needs to practice millions of times. So we train a second little model whose only job is to imitate those human choices. Show it an answer, and it predicts how much a person would like it. And that's the breakthrough. The reward model never gets tired, never needs a coffee break, and can score 1,000,000 answers a minute. We took something slow and human, picking the better reply, and turned it into a tireless judge that runs at machine speed. Now the loop closes. The assistant writes an answer, the reward model scores it, and we gently nudge the assistant's knobs toward whatever earns a higher score. Try, get scored, adjust, over and over, until helpful, honest replies come naturally. This whole loop has a name, Rlhf, reinforcement learning from human feedback. Reinforcement learning just means learning by reward, like training a dog with treats. From human feedback means the treats trace all the way back to real people's preferences. Real example, like a barista who keeps tweaking a recipe, every smile from a customer is a tiny reward, until the drink is exactly what people come back for. Part 5. Why it's polite and where it slips. So put it together, the model's vast knowledge comes from pretraining, its assistant shape comes from fine-tuning, and its actual personality, helpful, honest, willing to say I'm not sure, comes from being rewarded thousands of times for the answers people liked best. Manners learned. It's worth pausing on how strange that is. Nobody wrote a rule that says be polite or admit when you don't know. Those habits emerged the same way a kid learns table manners, not from a rulebook, but from 1,000 tiny moments of approval and correction. The behavior was grown, not coded. But here's the honest caveat. The model isn't chasing truth, it's chasing the reward. So if humans tend to reward answers that merely sound confident and pleasant, it learns to sound confident and pleasant, even when it's wrong. Its politeness is real, its certainty isn't always earned. The reward shapes the behavior, for better and for worse. So here's the whole picture. Pretraining gave it raw language by reading almost everything. Fine-tuning shaped it into an assistant with a few thousand good examples. Then humans ranked answer after answer. We bottled those choices into a reward model that scores any reply and nudged the assistant toward the high-scoring ones. That last loop, learning from human preference, is how a feral text predictor learned to behave. But everything today was about words. What happens when an AI doesn't write at all, when it conjures a photograph out of nothing but static, pure random noise, and slowly sharpens it into a face? That's a completely different kind of magic, and it's the very next video, how AI paints from pure noise. If this finally made Rlhf click, subscribe so you don't miss it. This was Glass Box. See you in the next one.